Hey YouTube, this is Dustin, owner of Ridgeline Aquatics. In this video, we're going to be talking about the coral formerly known as Acans Lordhowensis. We're going to talk about its structure, growth patterns, placement in the aquarium, and feeding requirements. Now, I know some of you are asking, why is it formerly known as? Well, the answer is pretty simple. As scientists continue to study the genera of Micromussa and Acanthasteria, they realized that Lordhowensis was actually much closer related to other corals of Micromussa rather than the corals of Acanthasteria, and such, they reclassified it. Its new name is now Micromussa Lordhowensis. This, of course, is going to lead to all kinds of confusion in the short term, because as hobbyists, we have regularly been calling Acanthasteria Lordhowensis Acans, and other Micromussa corals micros. Because these terms are so entrenched in our vocabulary, don't be too surprised if you see the old name floating around for years to come. Micromussa Lordhowensis is a large polyped stony coral, or LPS, and creates a calcium skeleton beneath soft, fleshy polyps. This coral forms individual polyps that can grow to a little over ½ inch across. They connect to each other both through the surface flesh and through the top layer of skeleton. In a healthy coral, you should never see the skeleton beneath the polyps. If you do, it's a sure indicator that something is wrong with your coral. Micromussa Lordhowensis will grow by forming new polyps along the edge of existing heads. If space is available, this can be done quite rapidly. At Ridgeline Aquatics, it's not uncommon to notice new heads forming only a few weeks after cutting a new frag. When there is no longer any easily encrustable space, growth tends to slow, and the coral will grow by excreting more skeleton and mounding into a larger shape. While it is often possible to acclimate Micromussa Lordhowensis to higher light, they generally prefer low to moderate light. Lighting has a major impact on the color of this coral. Higher light tends to cause a loss of bluer pigments and a deepening of reds. Highlight has also been indicated in the development of white stripes in some specimen. The specific spectra of your light can also cause color changes. People report the best colors under bluer lights. When purchasing Micromussa Lordhowensis, try and match lighting as best as possible, or simply accept that your coral may change color. This is especially true for some of the amazing rainbow corals out there. Often these corals will lose much of their wow factor after only a few weeks in your tank, and many have been left with a very expensive, normal-looking coral. Aquacultured Micromussa tend to hold their color better than ocean-sourced because they have already acclimated to tank life. They may be more expensive in the short term, but because aquacultured corals tend to be healthier and have a better chance of holding their color, it is worth it to many people. Micromussa Lordhowensis also prefers low to moderate flow. If the flow is too high, polyps will not fully extend, and over time they will recede and then die. Find a spot where polyps extend and are only lightly moved by the current. Micromussa are able to gain their energy from light due to their symbiotic zooanthellae, and this will provide for most of their needs. However, they do need a source of solid food, and as with most corals, we strongly recommend target feeding Micromussa a few times a week. While they will often survive on leftover fish food that they can scavenge from the water column, they will grow much faster and look much healthier if actively target fed. When feeding, it is important to pay attention while feeding and right afterward. Micromussa Lordhowensis is famous for eating all kinds of food and then promptly spitting it back out. This is especially true with larger pieces. We have had good luck with frozen foods containing finely diced shrimp, scallop, and fish, as well as coral pellet food. We have recently begun using Fauna Marin's coral pellets and have noticed our corals just love them. It is best to feed at night when polyp tentacles are out and your fish are asleep. If feeding tentacles are not out, a quick squirt of food should elicit a feeding response after a few minutes. Corals will quickly acclimate to your feeding schedule and will be waiting, tentacles outstretched, if you feed on a regular basis. Don't go too crazy with food, but try to ensure most polyps receive a little bit. One last note in relation to tank mates. While they are generally considered reef safe, peppermint shrimp have a reputation for attacking these corals. They may live together for a while, but in my experience, peppermint shrimp will almost always eventually attack Micromussa lordhowensis. Hopefully this video helps you care for these amazing corals. Be sure to check out our aquacultured corals at www.ridgelineaquatics.com. Have a great day!